Hi, it's Elena Puntaroli from Cascate di Luce, Cascades of Light, and today we are in the blue chapter that is creativity and imagination from Education of Light. Um, it is very much related to our fifth chakra because it is self-expression, is communication of our being, of our truth. And so whatever is the medium that we choose to express ourselves is what we really long to express is our creativity, because creativity is a call from our soul. We are creative beings because we are creators, and so it is natural to us to invent things, invent our reality, to create new images and new combinations of words to express what we really have inside and what we want to manifest outside of us. I love a quote from Einstein. Actually, I love many of them, but one of the quotes that I love says that all that is great and inspired has been created and by someone that could work at it freely. And so I really feel it deeply in my heart, because when we are free to really be ourselves, we can really discover so much more. And there is a false premise with kids that if we leave them alone, on their own, with freedom, they will not do anything. This is not true, because they have a deep desire to evolution, to learning, to become something more. And we can see it since the very beginning. Kids learn through modeling. So they watch us adults, and because of this, they learn to talk, to walk, to draw, to do the many things that they are learning. And so they have this desire to be more. And sometimes we can say that if we leave them alone, they won't do anything because, well, of course, it's if we repress kids, they have never a free moment. When they get freedom, they are not responsible for this freedom because they don't know how to handle it. So this is another question, another thing that is possible, but it is because of that, because it's like they can breathe for the first time, and so they don't want to, they have to understand how to breathe properly, and that they can breathe always. So it can happen with kids that have a very strict schedule, that are not allowed any free time, that when they get some freedom, they go crazy. And this is a reaction to the previous condition that they lived. So this is something different. But in case of, in other cases, when we live freedom, we can see that they would organize themselves, and they would find their interest and go in that direction. Another quote that I love from Einstein says that we cannot change the world if we cannot change our thinking, because the world as it is because of what we have been thinking. And so if we want to change the world, we have to change our thinking. And if we accept that freedom inspires creativity, we can live freedom to ourselves and to others. Actually, it's what's happening in the world right now. We are in the pandemic of COVID-19. I am in the lockdown at home since several weeks, and I heard amazing stories. So there is always a positive aspects that we can focus on. Because of this apparent slow down of the world, and so the pace that we used to have, I heard amazing stories of kids that have invented new games to play outside in the garden, like special airplane with the wheels. And I heard of kids and parents that became vegetarian, and families that started their own vegetable gardens. Also a small one, but it's just a start. And people that started arts projects, or the projects that were closed since many years and probably locked down, but they opened it up and decided to move things forward. People that released a lot of stuff from their home that they didn't use it any longer. People that rearranged entire closets or even rooms with a complete different energy and imprinting. And even myself, I had received the impulse to bring education of light that was available only in Italian, this book, to the rest of the world. So with these English videos that I'm doing, I received the impulse on Equinox Day that I was already in quarantine, and I decided that was the perfect moment to take some time and do it, because it's a big joy and pleasure for me to share my colors, my light with the world, if it can benefit and if it can bring more insights and inspiration to relationships, to people, to schools and teachers and so on. And so this is all the result of freedom. Having more free time is allowing miracles, because we are creative beings, but we don't operate at our best when we have a strict schedule. Because some of us, maybe they are the best when they have a strict schedule, but it doesn't allow to tap into the creativity that is really our birthright. Kids love playing because playing reminds them that they are creators. Because when they play, it's like they are co-creating. How? Because they become the things, the people, the situation that they put into action. They really feel like it was true. So it's like they fake it, but they really feel that it is so. And isn't it the same mechanism that we adults try at least to imply when we want to manifest something? I say try because often we have forgotten this childish sense of playing. And so we try, because sometimes we try even harder. It's not so natural because we have forgotten how we used to play with such a spontaneity, and it was so natural to us. And so we can actually learn so much from kids. This is a book for teachers to learn from kids and to be guided from them, to help them and to inspire them where they want to go. Because when we watch children at work, and this was also a reflection of Maria Montessori, we realize that they are the ones that are teaching us. And so they are teaching us when they are playing, because playing is like putting themselves into the vibrational reality. And what do they attract? Usually they attract the joy because they play with joy. They play because they have a passion. And so we can remind ourselves of this attitude when we want to create a laboratory of imagination because we want to attract something. We can do in a more light-hearted way. And we can do it by watching the children at play, because playing is their highest expression of themselves. And so it's so important because they really understand the world through playing. How do we create reality? Not just when we sit in our lab for creative imagination or listen to a guided meditation. We create our reality all day long. So the first way is through our inner chat. So it's about what we tell to ourselves. Do we feel that we are a valuable person, deserving, that we have a high concept of ourselves, or do we feel that we never get it right, we are always not enough or not in the right place, or so on? So this is the inner chat that we have with ourselves is really the basis. And the second is the chat that we have with others. So how we express ourselves, our value. So value is really at the basis, and the images that we use. At the basis of this all, there is our vibration. So am I resonating with the words that I speak? Because I can say something that I have written and that I'd like to manifest in my life, but if it's not what I believe, if I'm not there energetically because it's too distant, it would be too wonderful to become true, well, I am very far from it. And so what I'm manifesting is what I believe, what I am. And so it's important to empower ourselves with I am affirmations, but most important is to really feel them, to really become them. The same that when we see kids that become what they are playing, in the same way we have this possibility to become the reality that we want to see around us. And we can become creator of images because images are very powerful and they speak to the deep essence of our being. And so I can put images around me that really celebrate what I want to manifest, celebrate what I like, what I want to put out in the world. Because we all are creators of images, whether we do know it or we don't know it. But do I want to be a creator of worried images or doubtful images, or do I want to be a creator of powerful, empowering, and shining images that are going to give power to others, that are going to remind them of their invincibility, of their luminous nature? So we can do it with awareness. So I am a creator of image, and I know that whenever I create a scenario in my mind, I am projecting this in the world, and so I am influencing what happens also around me. And reality is really very much fluid, so it's not static as we may believe, because the walls are very solid, the table is very solid, but I really loved what David Bohm, the physics, had to say about this kind of language, static language. He considered the language that we use, the ordinary language, a static language that was not able to convey the deepest meaning that he found in quantum physics, where reality is much more dynamic than what we see around us. Is very much fluid and in continuous movement and becoming. So he decided to create a new language that he called Rio mode language. Rio comes from the Greek verb to flow, and it is more about verbs of movement. So, for example, living instead of house. The house is static. Living gives us the sense of an action, a being, a sense of being involved in something. The Rio mode language moves the focus from the static knowledge to the dynamic knowledge, so that everything we read, do, say is vibrant, is really embraced with our senses, with our being, and we really become it. So it's not something that we say like this, like light-hearted, but it's really something that we feel deep inside. And what if we can create innovative subjects that can really stimulate our imagination, our creativity? I'd like to read a few of them. You can find the subjects also. I've written them, the whole list, but the list can be endless in the video description. The foundations of life: joy, love, and freedom. I would love to have learned it and remember it from my childhood. Creativity, well-being, love of appreciation. Love and appreciation are the highest frequencies in the universe, and they are the ones that can transform the most anything, actually, if we have a focus and a strong desire. Education to beauty, the spiral of emotions, love relationships. So how to deal with relationship? Why don't we study at school connection with others, relationship, the feelings, how to manage the relationship with the other? And the contact with yourself, that's the first. Lab of history of the future. There is a history that is past already, but there is also a history that we can create, and that is the history of the future. So what do we want to create? What do we want to see happening? Imagine that if we have kids that focus this in a powerful way, what it can lead to? Miracles. The laws of the universe, the law of attraction, the science of deliberate creation, and the art of allowing. They are all governing our lives, and we should know them, how to deal with them, and they are at the basis. The enlightened way to manifest your desires. Contact with the infinite. Dream of light, meditation, creative imagination, the magic of talent. Lab for original solutions. This is one of my favorite, because what if, instead of focusing on the problem, that Einstein told us this already, if we want to try to solve a problem at the same level of the problem, we cannot solve it. We have to change our level. And so I would say to enhance our perspective, to go in the solution plan and see what we can find them there. education to movement, emotional lab. This is important, especially when I am dealing with difficult emotions, when I am in a crisis and I don't know how to navigate myself, my emotions, my environment, because everything seems so different, difficult, and hard to live. Well, the emotional lab is a wonderful journey to navigate any kind of crisis. Quantum physics, that I have called the science of light. Travels, playing, soul touch massage. So how important would be to put our bodies in the learning experience and become sensitive and sensible to what we feel and how function our body. Vision, the language of colors, and this list could be just infinite, because this is what we want to bring in the new earth, in a new paradigm, where we have the being that is in the first place, and we give so much attention to the exploration of the infinite possibilities. So what could be, what could I become, what I am already and that I don't recognize in myself yet. So this means that I can imagine the future, but at the same time I can rewrite the past. So if I have lived situation that I still have strong emotions when I think about them, I can change what happened. Well, not in the past, but I can change it now. And if I change it now, I change my reaction to what happened in the past now, and the now is going to change my future. Because our mind, there have been so many studies on this, does not recognize when we imagine something, or when we think about something that happened for real. So we have this great power at our disposal, because our mind is like saying, you think, and I don't know if you think something that really happened, or if you think or imagine something that you would like to happen. So we have freedom also in our mind. Our mind is telling us, you just have to imagine, to feel. And I don't care if you have lived this in your past or if you would like to live it in your future. I am going to put this in co-creation. I'm going to go to guide you in that direction. And this is just fantastic, because it doesn't matter if we have lived painful experience, we can change our reaction to that experience, because when we change our reaction to that experience and we become neutral, peaceful, and serene about our past, we are going towards a complete new direction in our future. So we don't let our past guide our life, especially if it hasn't been good. So we are creative beings, full of possibilities, and we just need to be free to explore all these possibilities. It has been a pleasure to share the blue chapter with you, and if you find these videos of value and interest, please share them, subscribe to our channel, and if you would like to know more about the Shine Your Light vision and model that we have created, you can go to cascatediluce.com. You can find the website at the end of the video description and sign up to our newsletter. We have created a very fun free video where we explain Shine Your Light in a very beautiful and light-hearted way. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.